number is 384-259. Your offense was driving while intoxicated, fourth offense. The sentencing date was 10/29/12. You were sentenced for 27 years. Your parole eligibility date is 5/14/2018. Your good time date is 5/13/2035, and your full term date is 8/26/2037. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Freeman will start the interview.
Okay, Mr. Down, how old are you?
52, fixing to be 53.
Okay, and how long have you been in jail on this charge?
November will make 13 years.
Okay, Mr. Diamond, tell me why you think, do you think you have your drinking under control now or not?
I wouldn't be opposed to additional treatment like the Steve Hall program if I was to get released. I mean, it's going to be it's a day-to-day situation that you have to go through when you're in recovery. And I've had a change in my attitude and my outlook on a career. That's why I chose to finish the college and get a college diploma in automotive technology. And
Great.
I've got all my certifications for that. I believe I would be able to handle it.
Okay, were you addicted to any other drug besides alcohol?
No, sir.
Okay, I know the last hearing we had on you, we recommend that you go back through the Ship Shop or the Steve Hall program. They never did get you there?
No, sir. They said that the Steve Hall program said that I had too much time left, that they would take me if y'all granted me parole and then sent me, but they didn't want to be responsible for me being there with 12 years left on my record at a parish facility, is what I was told.
Okay, seems to me they could ship you back once you finished. You know, you got a ton of DWIs. I think you realize that. You still got and will always have a drinking problem. And you still gonna have to be diligent every day.
Yes, sir.
One little mistake, and I mean, you've never injured anybody yet, but it can happen. And we see it all the time.
First off, I'd like to apologize for my actions and for all the civilians that I could have injured and put in harm's way. I took victim impact with Miss Morgan, and that really enlightened me on the repercussions of what could have happened at any time. And the story with the girl Emily and her mom writing a letter, that was just a heartbreaking letter. I would never want to be on the receiving end of that letter, because that right there brought tears to my eyes when I was in that class.
Good, good. I'm glad you realize what could happen due to your actions. Okay, you got 2 children. Do you stay in touch with your children?
One of them I don't have no contact with. I don't know where she's at. The other one, she's in Houma, and she just contacts me periodically. She's always moving around.
Okay. You've had 3 write-ups since your last hearing, which is good. Nothing major. I think your last write-up was in 17. I think I got it. That sound about right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Which is good. So it looks like, you know, what are your hospital and visits about?
I had thyroid problems. I had to have my thyroid removed.
Okay, I just wanted to see what's going on. Okay, who are you gonna live with?
After thinking for a change and living in balance, I realized that I needed to, in order for me to change, I needed to change my people, places, and my priorities. So I chose not to go back to where I grew up in Bogalusa, because therefore I would just tend to ease back into the same old me. And I don't want that. I want to start somewhere new. So I chose to go to Monroe to an ex-fiance that I had years ago, over 20 years ago. She don't drink, she don't do no drugs. She's a little bit older than me. And she lives in Monroe, Louisiana. She said, as long as
That's Janine Tyson.
yes, sir.
Okay, yeah, she wrote a letter saying she's welcome. She favors your parole and will welcome you into her home. We got that letter from her. From this. Okay, what's gonna be your sobriety plan?
Continue to go to AA and really try to delve into work because my mother passed away and I don't have no more family. And when she passed away, I lost everything in the house that my mother had. I don't have no idea where any of my clothes, anything's at. I don't have nothing. And I really have to start from scratch. And going to AA, and I like messing with cars. I like doing stuff. I might try to help other people get certified through ASC because that's what I'm doing now. I'm a tutor back here in Votech, and I help other inmates get ASC certified.
Okay, do you have employment ready for when you get out? Do you have a job offer?
No, sir, I don't know none of the places in the area, but I have full credentials to where I'm not gonna have a problem getting a job.
Okay.
I'm either gonna choose to go to a job at a dealership to be a service consultant or get a job in a shop as a shop foreman.
Good expectation. Okay, Warden, you have anything to say?
Yes, Mr. Freeman, just a few things again, you know, as was pointed out, Gerald's taken a lot of programming. He's got a lot of education, taking advantage of the opportunities that we've given him here. So I'm proud of him for that. His last write-up, as you mentioned, 7 years ago, and, you know, I'd also mentioned that in the 13 years he served, he's only had 3 write-ups during that period of time. He is a Strive member. That's a part of my honor program. As a matter of fact, in our discussions, you know, he probably could be a trustee there. He just hasn't applied. But he is in my honor program. You know, again, a lot of good programming, a lot of, I think he's on the right track. You know, he's obviously got a serious drinking problem. So I would recommend maybe some long-term, programming, maybe Steve Hall program, if we could do that, just to make sure, just to help him, just to make sure that, you know, I feel like I'd like to take a chance on him, but with his history, he needs all the help he can get that we can offer him.
I understand. Thank you, Warden. I have no further questions. State.
Mr. James, I don't think. Would you like to say something? Just
I would just like to be given the chance to try to prove myself. I've never been incarcerated for a long period of time. And I don't want to live like this. I don't want to live like I was before, neither before I come to jail. I want to change myself. I want a change in life because I'm getting too old. And I mean, I'm at the point right now where I need to do something to support myself and make it, or I'm just not gonna have anything. And that's why I delved into taking all these ASC certifications, and I got master certified in EETC. I took all 3 levels of IC3, which is digital literacy. That way, when I go to work in the automotive technology field, I'll be able to use the computers and get all the information that I need off of it. I got a master's in that. I took boys to men. I pretty much tried to take advantage of all the classes that would benefit me. And I've used it to my benefit. Now, like I said, I tutor back there as AS&E, and I help students pass and take ASC tests. Every 3 months we go test. And the last time I had a 75% success rate of helping other inmates get certified.
well, Mr. Dale, everything that you said is very important, and you have used your time wisely. But I have listened to the warden and I have listened to concerns about, your fourth offender DWI. And you heard the heartbreaking statement of a victim of a DWI in your victim impact class. So at this time, I'm going to pass it along to Mr. Freeman. Are y'all ready to vote?
Mhm.
Okay, I'm gonna pass it along to Mr. Freeman to vote.
Okay, Mr. Dellum, you're doing everything right now. Inside the place, you're doing everything right. I'm like the warden, I'm very concerned. I mean, it's driving and drinking and driving is an accident waiting to happen, and we take lives. I mean, I've seen it on this board times and time again, and I just want to make darn sure we have done everything possible to make sure you have a successful life. And you are doing that with all your trades and stuff. But I do feel that with 13 years, you hadn't done half the time yet. You need a little bit more time. And I'm gonna order that you be sent to a DOC treatment facility. Once you finish, go on and you can reapply at the correct time. I think it's a year and a half. I'm not sure. Don't quote me on that. But anyway, but my vote today is to deny.
Mr.
Mr. one thing I've learned is that without alcohol, you're going to be a great person. You know what I'm saying? But I do not have the confidence today without a long-term treatment program to release you. So my vote is to deny. And again, echoing Mr. Freeman's comments, I'm asking that you be sent to that because without that treatment, it's going to be difficult. Okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, sir.
Mr. Dalen, this is not to discourage you because you are getting what you'll need so that when you get out, you'll be able to earn a good trade and make a good living. But I do agree with the warden and with my other board members that you do need the Stephen. It looks like the Stephen program is the one. DOC treatment is the one for you. And so my vote today also is to deny so that you can get further DOC treatment. So today, Mr. Dalen, your parole has been denied. And this concludes our business today. And we will adjourn here at 9:41. Thank you, Warden.
Thank you. Nice to meet you, ladies. Watch that guy beside y'all. Take care.
We'll go over the information on this case, but 27 years. That is, to me, just hard to understand. Look, I get it. He's dangerous. Keeps getting in the vehicles and driving, but where do things align? 27-year sentence. You see people get out for multiple homicides in Louisiana, intentional, with less time. And we'll go over, I mean, it's also what just doesn't make sense is that we've seen so many folks that have more DUI, 6, 7, that get less sentences. Now, what happened here is that he was found guilty, and then the DA came back and gave him the habitual offender. Now, I get that he's dangerous on the road, and I get all those things, but again, the sentence doesn't add up. And really, I wouldn't want to live in a state where you can get more time for your 4th DUI than you could for taking 2 lives. And then, of course, the whole children thing. It's like, wait a minute, if a DA is going to go out and do this to make sure that everyone is safe, why won't they do this for those who hurt children? It's not even close. The proportionality is not there. He came in saying, hey, I'll do Steve Hoyle. He wanted to do Steve Hoyle. They wouldn't put him in because he has too much time. And that's also, it's like this conundrum. They're like, well, we're going to lock you away. You'll have opportunities at parole. but you won't get parole because you can't take the programs we want you to take because they won't take you because you have too much time. And it creates this craziness. And frankly, you might argue, look, there's a few ways to look at this. One is he simply can't be trusted. He's keeps getting in the car and driving, and we need to just make sure that no one is killed by him. And then there's another, which is, well, do we really want to be that kind of state that locks people up for basically their life? Why don't they create ways that, well, he should never get a license again. Wear an ankle bracelet. I don't know. I know it's not. There might be some that say no. Just he's too much of a risk. We can't risk it. Locked up for life. But I don't think that's the answer either. Now, it also is just disproportionate to what we've seen. I think this is by far the longest sentence we've ever seen for something like this. Which just makes you. I mean, when you're seeing an anomaly, you have to ask questions. But let's go. Just look this over. Thank you, Richard. So this is his appeal from 2016. And his appeal is partially, I think, because he was found guilty with a 6-person jury instead of a 12-person jury, which he thought was instead of a 12-person jury, it was the trial court sentenced him as an habitual offender to 25 years without the benefit of parole. I thought they said 27 years. 25 makes more sense. So defendant was arrested in Bogalusa, Louisiana, November 10, 2011 for DWI 4th offense. After a Louisiana state trooper witnessed a pickup truck driver and the defendant crossed the center line to the left, veer back to the right, run off the road. When the trooper initiated this traffic stop, he observed the defendant swayed as he stood, had an odor of alcohol in his breath. His speech was slurred and his eyes were glassy and bloodshot. And his blood alcohol was 0.180. On January 17, 2012, the state filed a bill of information charging the defendant with 1 count of driving while intoxicated, 4th offense. He also is charged with improper lane usage and license plate light violation. I love how they threw it, even the license plate light violation. Like, we're going to get you on everything. Like it made a difference. And driving under suspended license. He pled not guilty in all counts. The jury trial began on April 30, 2012, at which time the state, it's like they threw the book at him. They're like, okay, you're gonna go to trial. We're gonna throw the book at you. And what bothers me about this is that we see DAs that will do this for these type of offenses, which they should. They need to keep the roads safe, but 25 years is excessive. Because. And I know there are those who have lost loved ones in DUIs and say, no, it's not excessive. And I think it's worth a debate. But why don't they do this for those who harm children, for those who take lives, for those who, So which on the state severed counts 2 through 4 and a procedural to trial, which carried penalty range with or without hard labor for not less than 10 years, no more than 30 years, considering the bill of information related penalty range. The prosecution defense chose a jury of 6 people without any contemporaneous objection from either side at the time. More specifically, neither the defendant nor the prosecution requested a 12-person jury. I mean, I do think, why would any defense choose a 6-person over a 12-person jury? I don't see how that benefits the defense in any way, shape, or form. Can someone explain that to me? You want to have more people in the jury. So it increases your odds by 100%, right? Am I wrong? At any time before or during the trial on May 1st, 2012, the jury found the defendant guilty as charged, and the trial court denied motion to new trial. The defendant was ultimately sentenced to 25 years of hard labor for 3 years to be served without benefit of probation parole. And I guess that's the caveat. It's like 25-year sentence, but 3 years you'll get parole. And in that sense, as a judge, maybe you don't feel as archaic, because it's like, look, you could get out in 3 years. And you're going to be backing all this time, which hopefully would keep us safe. But then you do get into the problem that you can't take the programs to get out because you have too much time, and you go in that circle of conundrums. Shortly after, the state filed multiple bill of information alleging the defendant was a 3rd felony offender. The defendant admitted the allegation multiple offender, but the trial court, after considering the factors set forth in all the evidence cases, vacated its original sentence and resentenced the defendant to serve 25 years. I don't get it. A resentence. He got 25 years, and then okay, I don't know. That's seems like he got 25 years. Oh, is it 25 years without parole? Without the benefit. Okay. That's what happened. So he got the 25 years with opportunity of parole. Then he was resentenced without the opportunity of parole. The defendant appealed. Now, I assume he had to have won the appeal because here he is having a parole hearing, but also it could be Act 122 or some other act. I'm not sure he qualifies for Act 122 because I think you have to serve 20 years of your sentence to qualify for Act 122. Based on the conclusion foregoing the analysis, we find the trial court may have considered the documentary evidence. We're going to mute multiple offender status, which require the sentence to offer mandatory affirmed. Although I agree with the majority of the conclusion, the court not erred and tried. The basis of objection regularities based on the occur. I respectfully dissent through. Okay, hold on a second. Okay, in a nutshell, I'm not sure why he's eligible for parole. I normally would stop and ask Richard or, for feedback here, but because it's summertime and things are a little bit crazy and this would just prolong what really is not that interesting of a hearing, I'm going to go with it. I'm not quite sure. And if any of you do know, send it in an email or better put it in the comment section and I'll just pin it. And with that, I'll let you go.